Hello, myself Sunil Ramakrishnan here. Today we are going to talk about the Formula Word. Until now, basically, we have already discussed around 28 parts of the Formula Word. And here, till now, basically, we have not discussed the project management plan formula, project management plans, each and every formulas, each and every attribute. That basically we have yet not discussed. So here, basically, we are trying to understand how basically the attributes of the formulas and how the basically attributes got created. It might be came into it. It might basically comes something into picture that basically that if we discuss this formula word basically while discussing the formula word, it might possible that we might find some error also. The attributes which was defined by the project management plan group and the formulas which was defined by the project management plan group. This is also possible while discussing the formula word. And basically, if we say that we in this 28 parts, basically there were many errors basically, which was basically project management group has done also. And that basically the project management group basically when they will see this video, that time only they will might understand actually what was the error basically, because we I can't disclose the error because the project management plan groups are very big people and they can do anything basically. So that's why basically I'm not disclosing anything directly. But in 28 formula, basically there are many errors which basically project management plan groups has done. So that we will not discuss directly, because if by chance because it's connected with ego. Ego means in this video basically we have seen one part that is basically software company, how basically they have banned one person and up to what level they have done. They have done up to the HIV/AIDS marriage. So the boy was basically have married, was able to basically got one girl, and that girl was planned by the software companies and software industry group, software human resource group. They have planned that marriage, and that boy got HIV/AIDS. And this is basically right story. This is a real true story, because the person was got HIV/AIDS, and the before marriage basically he was not having the HIV/AIDS, but after marriage basically the girl basically was a HIV/AIDS person, HIV/AIDS positive. That time basically the boy also got HIV/AIDS. Then basically he tracked that why he basically got HIV/AIDS and why how basically this girl came into picture. So each and every basically connected with the ego of the software industry. So just basically see up to what level the ego software industry have. So you can that also say basically, you can say that also that up to what level ego software company owners have, software company human resource group basically have. So basically that we will not discuss in detail, because we have already discussed this everything in software company, how basically software company do the bans of the person. So now basically here basically going to see a little bit more about the formula word basically. I will take one example. In previous video we have discussed something about the Microsoft owner of Bill Gates basically. So Bill Gates told that Bill Gates was asked by one of the person that Bill Gates basically, can we get the detail of this tax basically which we are paying to the government, US government, that is basically US government basically, you can say whoever government is, because basically government are same for us basically. They are going to work on same manner only, but little bit difference might be there. So basically he asked that to Bill Gates. Then Bill Gates basically thought that yeah, your question is correct basically, because if we are paying the tax amount, we should know basically what we are paying and how in where our monies are getting used, and how basically you are telling that how basically the one video is telling that text box is created from the thousand cities, combo box is created from the thousand cities, checkboxes is also created from the thousand cities, radio buttons are also created from the thousand cities, and like these buttons are there, menus are there, basically each and everything basic this thousand basically I have taken just an example. In real basically it might be more, mostly it is more only, but it can't be less basically, because it's a very dangerous process and very lengthy process. because from one text box you can create oil also. From one text box energy data you can able to create vegetables also, you can create fruits also. Basically we have taken these three example long before also in this videos, basically in 28 parts. So basically here the thing is Bill Gates was basically asked by one person. He was basically director of the, and he got some information from the Bill Gates. So basically thought, yeah, basically I also have some time doubt basically that basically if the text box which we are getting to display in our web browsers and websites basically, that basically sometime I saw the disappear view also. Basically that was after that basically some amount was paid by the Bill Gates. That time basically the text box was visible to me. That basically was by chance or by default, basically that basically need to experiment also. So basically he told that, yeah, basically we will ask the government to pay the to sorry to give the detailed report of the tax basically which we are paying, because even the director is and the Bill Gates also don't know that the text box basically which getting is display in the browser, that basically is on the base of the tax money basically which they are paying basically. But the Bill Gates actually knows basically that the text box and the each and every user controls basically is one subscription that basically they are paying to the certain groups basically. So that basically, but the Bill Gates tells told to the director that we basically know this, but in detail basically we don't know the thousand cities basically. So basically we should able to know which are those thousand cities. So basically thousand cities connected with the set of user stories also. And basically the Microsoft people told that we have tried to find some certain data also, like for example Elon Musk basically Elon Musk basically has purchased Twitter basically. So from Twitter basically the purpose was basically to find that set of user stories of the set of the certain location basically. So from that basically at least basically we can find some user stories and we can chain the each and every controls basically from where basically each and every controls are connected. Like for example text box is connected with thousand cities. So from thousand cities, where are those cities basically? How many cities are in of text box is in India? In US how much? UK how much? Ireland how much? Italy how much? So like this basically how many cities basically um has been used to create one text box basically. So the discussion was going, and then basically Bill Gates written one letter to the government that we basically want some detail about the tax basically, and the information is basically whatever user controls we are using in the web browser, we want the detail. He directly asked basically that this text box is created on the base of around, he given one number that was basically thousand cities. So we want the detail of this text box cities basically. Then basically government replied to the Bill Gates that sorry, we can't disclose the secret of our um, power basically, our energy, because these all are our powers and energy basically. Even though basically you purchase the Twitter, then also basically you can't track the each and every user stories and each and every cities basically, how basically text box was created and how the combo box created on the base of thousand cities basically. To purchase whatever basically product basically, then also you can't able to find the secrets of our creation basically, because that is basically text box equal to thousand cities. So text box has created on the base of thousand cities. This is basically one secret of the government basically, you can say. And like this basically, hmm, the Microsoft Corporation owner basically written the letter to the government, and the reply was basically same. He basically wrote the letter 4 to 5 times, same letter, and the result was also same. Basically, the result was we can't disclose the secret of the text box. Basically, the secret was text box is created on the base of thousand cities user stories. Basically, you can say user stories basically means the set of stories of the each and every house, each and every place. Before a house, basically that land story, where the each and every buildings are created. That land also have certain set of stories, and according to this land stories, only the basically building story might have created. Because by default, basically, if your building is in certain land which is going to generate some positive or negative energies, then basically you create whatever building, basically that building is going to be like that is going to be overwritten by the land basically by default. Basically, if you want to change, then basically season energy basically can change this data basically, but mostly basically it is going to cover the land data only, whatever the land energy basically which is passed by the nature basically, you can say. Because so currently basically it's like that. So basically government told that if you will purchase the Twitter also, then also it's not possible to collect the user stories requirements of the each and every areas. And basically they're like this, basically many groups have tried this to find these secrets, basically text box equal to thousand cities. Then also basically nobody was able to find that secret basically. So this is basically about the 29th part, and in 30 part basically we are going to discuss little bit more about the text box secret, which is government is telling we will not disclose to the Microsoft corporation owner.